In 1976, an arcade game named Death Race was released based on the movie Death Race 2000. The object of the game was to guide your car and run over fleeing gremlins on the street. This game was so controversial at the time that it led to the first study of the psychological effects of playing video games. For a better idea of what the game looked like, let me show you. Since the game Death Race, video games have developed far beyond what we thought possible. Video games have also been so well developed that even cinematics in video games are making movies look bad in comparison. With our technology expanding on a day-to-day basis, so are video games and how the elements in those video games look. But still, due to our progress in video games, it has also led to the progress of more studies of linking real-world violence to the video games we play. And of course, the most controversial topic, do video games cause violence? Let's find out. One infamous event you may have heard of was the Columbine Massacre, where two teenagers named Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold killed 13 people, 12 who were students and 1 who was a teacher, while leaving 21 injured, with 3 others being injured while trying to escape the school. There are a number of various reasons on why the massacre took place, but some sources say that video games could have inspired the shooting. More specifically, a video game called Doom, which both of the killers played. In a videotape recorded before the massacre, Harris was enthusiastic for the planned shooting, saying it would be like fucking Doom. He also pointed out that the weapon of choice for the shooting, the shotgun, was straight out of Doom. Seung Hui Cho, the murderer behind the Virginia Tech school shooting in April 16, 2007, killed 32 people and wounded 17 others. Jack Thompson, an anti-violent video games activist, claimed that Cho trained for his killing spree on the video game Counter-Strike. However, roommates of Cho report that although he was on the computer for many hours of the day, none of it was for playing video games. Authorities also found no video game consoles in the killer's dorm room. Heck, even Rush Limbaugh, a popular radio talk show host, was claimed to have given a caller a dose of reality upon the subject of the school shooting. The caller said, "What I really think is an issue is video violence, video gaming. I will guarantee you, I'll bet my last dollar in my pocket that this shooter will be found to have been a compulsive video gamer. And when people are living that kind of lifestyle, and college students do this a lot." Rush Limbaugh replies saying, "Let's say you're right. Not every video gamer goes out and murders 33 people on the college campus though. There's more to this than that. We can find all kinds of societal problems and ills, but the fact of the matter is that whatever you would look at as a bad influence, video games, as you have mentioned, it may desensitize people, but it doesn't turn everybody into mass murderers." So let's just say that the killers behind these mass school shootings were inspired by video games. Does that make video games the direct cause of the shootings? When it comes to these violent events, they all seem to form a connection, and that is alienation topped on with mental illness. In an article posted on Slate.com, it is said that Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold were radically different individuals with vastly different motives and opposite mental conditions. Klebold is easier to comprehend, a more familiar type. He was hot-headed but depressive and suicidal. He blamed himself for his problems. Harris is the challenge. He was sweet-faced and well-spoken. Adults and even some other kids described him as nice, but Harris was cold, calculating, and homicidal. Klebold was hurting inside while Harris wanted to hurt people. Harris was not merely a troubled kid, psychiatrists say. He was more of a psychopath. Seung Hui Cho lived with selective mutism for the majority of his life, and as he got older, it became more severe that he was literally unable to speak in social settings, that even his parents placed him in a special education program, and a plan was devised to help him. For those that do not know, selective mutism is a type of social anxiety disorder. Those who suffer feel afraid. Seung Hui Cho's mother, Hyung Hin Cho, said that he would rarely speak, and when he did, it was just a few words barely above a whisper. She even tried to help this problem with countless visits to counselors and psychologists, treatment with antidepressants or art therapy, and attempts to even find him friends at basketball camp or taekwondo or church. Still, even then, no one could break through to him. An article posted on USA Today, the article states that as late as the spring of 2005, Cho exhibited no behavioral problems, but serious problems surfaced in the fall. Letters at home started to trickle off, and it was said that he clashed with English teachers, wearing dark sunglasses, hats, and scarves to class, and writing violent, disturbing papers. Roommates gave up on trying to befriend him after he stabbed a carpet in a girl's room. In November-December 2005, female residents complained of annoying instant messages, emails, and phone calls that they had received from Cho. Cho was referred to counseling. After campus, police told Cho to stop contacting one woman. He told his roommates, "I might as well kill myself now." That triggered a psychiatric evaluation, an overnight stay, and several brief phone sessions with counselors. After that, the report says English professors, university administrators, and others missed several opportunities to share information and get help for Cho. These school shootings are just some examples on how some sources have blamed video games for the school shootings, but many people tend to overlook the mental state of these individuals, not after the shootings, but before the shootings. Like the article said, Seung Hui Cho's administrators, teachers, and counselors missed several opportunities to get more help for Cho, and when it came to Dylan and Eric, bad parenting plays a role into the event as well when it comes to how they acquired weapons. I mean, do parents go into their child's rooms these days and try to figure out what may be wrong with their child or how they acquired boxes upon boxes of armed weaponry? I mean, what about the event that took place where a 9-year-old boy shot and killed Jessica Carr, his 7-year-old neighbor, in 1989 for losing in a Nintendo game? A Nintendo game. The game was called Spy Hunter, a video game which players spray enemies with machine guns mounted on a speeding car. Apparently the father was a hunter, and like many country kids, the boy had been introduced to firearms. The younger girl was good at the game, and Cameron Kocher got mad when she beat him. He was so mad that after losing the game, young Cameron Kocher went home and went to the second floor master bedroom, retrieved a hidden key, and unlocked his father's gun cabinet lined with 10 firearms. He removed a .35 caliber Marlin rifle, found the proper ammo in a separate locked drawer, and loaded a cartridge into the chamber. Just outside, Jessica Carr was riding on her family's snowmobile, and Kocher then opened up a window, removed the screen, and leveled the rifle on the noisy snowmobile moving slowly across the yard, 100 yards away. He found his target in the scope and squeezed off a shot. This event is just another example on how parenting plays a role into these events. First off, why would you introduce a young child to firearms? I get that it could be a form of bonding with your child, especially depending on where you live, but come on now, they're kids. Second, why tell your child where the location of the key is to unlock the gun cabinet? The key should only be in the parent's possession. Okay, I'm getting on kind of like a rant here, but anyway, enough with the morbid stories. Let's look at a meta-analysis published by Dr. Christopher Ferguson on the studies of violence in video games. The study went on like this. In this study, 103 young adults were given a frustration task in which he randomized students to play no game, a non-violent game, a violent video game with good versus evil themes, and a violent video game in which they played the bad guy. And in this study, his studies show no link between violent video games and aggressive behavior. In fact, those who had a history of playing violent video games were said to have had fewer hostile feelings and a decrease of depression during the frustration task. Of course, this is only one study, and there is so much more studies on this subject that I could talk about, but I will be completely honest with you. There is no doubt that video games could have an effect on people, especially children, but that is why there is a rating system in the first place between how violent and non-violent a game could be, and which specific age group the game fits in. So parents, next time you're at your local gaming store and you're deciding on what game you should get for your child, just keep in mind on what your child is possibly getting themselves into. Don't just shrug it off. Also, video games shouldn't be blamed for the only source of violence. There is also books, TV shows, movies, just to name a few, that also include violence as well. And whenever a tragedy occurs, video games are more likely to show up as the cause of the event. So news reporters, just be sure to have solid evidence before you state your claim. That about does it for the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to look at some of the articles that I used to make this video, they are all in the description below, so please help yourselves. If you like this video, please give it a like, and let me know in the comments. Do you think video games cause violence? Thanks for watching, and remember, stay sly.